should be practically deserted.
Oh, this we're gonna have lunch, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Looks like it is. This is good.
Yeah.
The first time I came here, it was just completely full of caravans down both sides and people everywhere. Last time I came here, there was still about half a dozen. Yeah, that's it. Apparently it's got a seaweed and it's... I don't want it.
Hey, we've all had lunch at Port La Hunte, which is this port right here. And I had those folks go off on a hike, which I don't want to do. And I took care of getting the dishes done. They're all done. I'm just going to sit and read till they get back. You'll notice here up close a fence that's embedded in the water. There's some seagulls sitting out. This was erected up in a triangular from the beach up to the jetty and then down along this left side of the jetty. There's a protection against sharks. Apparently in 1957 a young 11-year-old boy was killed by a shark, and so this was the solution. Pretty location. Hard to imagine anybody would ever inspect to see if you were camped here all night or not. In fact, I think you actually can camp here. Yeah, there's nothing that prevents that. And this is an area, as are many of these areas, used by the local ranchers, or farmers they're called, even though they ranch sheep, as their kind of like summer getaway. And they'll come down here anywhere from 5 to 8 or more weeks after their harvest, I guess, or whenever, and just relax fishing and stuff like that. And a pretty place it is to do that. I'm guessing that there's a place to put the boats, but I don't know where that is. And here comes my crowd, I think. No, it's somebody else. Oh, good. That means I got more time to keep reading. This is the facility they have for it. Many of these remote facilities have also a barbecue that is gas operated and very reasonably sophisticated. This is not one of those, but they're somewhat of a unique attribute of many of the remote visiting spots. This is our rig. That are sleeping bags and tents and so forth in the upper portion, plus baggage, and then the lower portion there in the lower left side are coolers that we refill every few days with food and so forth. And then that hauls us in the bus. The bus normally, I think, carries something like 21 people, but on this trip they didn't have anywhere near that. They had only 5, with another lady who is accompanying us in her car because she wanted to see the things we're going to see, but she wanted to have someone close at hand if something went wrong with her vehicle, getting it all the way across to Perth. This is Fowler. We're leaving Fowler Bay now en route to air highway that'll take us then to through the Nullarbor. Today we'll go through it. We're not really in it. We're south of it, 100 kilometers or something. This is giving us an idea of what these big old dirt roads look like. They're not bad at all, actually. And where there's a salt pan, they're just like concrete and just about as smooth. These have a little bit of washboarding in them, but not much, and it's probably because there's a lack of traffic.
Attempt to keep dingoes, which are the native Australian dogs, out of this side of the fence, this part of Australia. And it's actually one of the longest fences in the world. It runs for 5,500 kilometres. It starts in the Darling Downs of Queensland and cuts across southern Queensland, right through the middle of South Australia, down to here where we are now, and through to the Western Australian border, and then back up to the Western Australian border.
We're now at the Yalata Roadhouse, which is owned by the Yalata tribes, community, which were on their land, but it's run by Europeans, both because people apparently don't like to be served by Aborigines, and then I can sometimes understand that they look significantly different than the rest of the Europeans, and secondly of all because the Aborigine doesn't like to work in our traditional North American context.
Trees falling down in front of it. This is the camel chasing the kangaroo, which is chasing the wombat sign. As we go across through the Nullarbor, you'll see more of these signs, and the positions of the animals change because they're actually having a race.
Oh.
So and then one of the animals disappears and is replaced by a different animal. So keep your eyes open, you can work out which one it is.
The Nullarbor is that curious rectangular shape outlined in red at the top of the Great Australian Bight. We're approaching the Nullarbor Plain now. It's normally distinguished by the complete absence of trees, which we've pretty much passed, although you can see them off to the left, so there's still a ways to go. And then secondly, by an absolute flatness of the land, and yet here we're still have a little bit of an undulation, so it's not too far from now we should cross that barrier, or that perimeter. So here you can see,
there you go, guys, Nullarbor Plain.
Our bushes and trees, but they're gone now. There's one lone tree right over there somewhere, it looks like, right there. And beyond that, looking northwest, is the Nullarbor. And we are south edge of it, if you will.
Opportunity. This is the eastern end of the Nullarbor Plain. Well, the bit we're going to cross anyway. But if you went,
and then this extends perhaps 1,000 kilometers to the due north, which is where I'm looking right now. And Rick indicates that the whales can be right where that seaweed is that you see floating center top. In other words, real close to the shore. Boardwalk they created here, which gets a lot of use during the winter season when the whales are here. Here we're looking to the west, almost 185 kilometers to the west are solid cliffs like this. And then ironically the cliffs migrate inland, probably representing either some upraising of the land or certainly some prior wave action that created them, but what caused them to be higher is the sight to see this one is big storm surges and so forth. And a curious looking geography. I suppose it's just the erosion of, I think, sandstone, but I don't really know, but I think so. But it almost looks like it's poured vertically. Maybe that shot in the middle there looks that way, smooth, whereas this looks so pockmarked. Much probably differences in the character of the rock. So Rick just said these are 95 meters high. And here you can see examples, which Gillian will help us demonstrate of how pieces of rock fall off the edge. You see it. So Gillian, go stand on this one. Huh? Yeah, I know. Yeah.